Can you feel it? That shift in the atmosphere around you, the one that makes your spirit restless at 3 a.m., the one that whispers through your bones that something monumental is breaking loose in the invisible realm. Here's what nobody's telling you. While you've been questioning if you heard God correctly, while you've been second-guessing every decision you made in the wilderness, while you've been wondering if your obedience even mattered, the universe has already stamped approved on your breakthrough. The victory you've been fighting for, it's not coming. It already arrived. And the most shocking part, your enemies can sense it before you can even see it. Let me tell you something that will rearrange everything you thought you knew about divine timing. The moment you stopped begging and started believing, the moment you stopped explaining and started embodying, the moment you stopped performing and started possessing, that was the exact second heaven released what had your name carved into it since before you took your first breath. Right now, in this very moment, there are people in rooms you've never entered speaking your name with a reverence they can't explain. Doors you didn't even knock on are swinging open. Opportunities you never applied for are hunting you down. Why? Because whatever you did in the secret place, that thing you thought nobody noticed, that sacrifice you made when no one was watching, that moment, you chose God's voice over the world's validation. It worked. You are standing at the edge of the most defining season of your entire existence. This is not motivation. This is confirmation. This is not inspiration. This is activation. The anointing you've been carrying in secret is about to become undeniable in public. Before we go any deeper, I want to honor something sacred here. Thank you to every single one of you who has supported this message through Super Thanks. Your generosity means more than you know. You're not just donating, you're helping spread light to others who feel alone in their calling, who are fighting battles nobody sees, who need to hear that their wilderness season is over. Whether you give or not, I'm deeply grateful for your presence here. Your support, your time, your attention, it all matters. And if this message is already stirring something in your spirit, go ahead and let me know you're here. Comment, "It worked," so I know you're ready to receive what's already been released. See, God didn't bring you this far to leave you stranded at the finish line. He didn't refine you in fire just to let you rust in comfort. He didn't teach you how to survive the storm just so you could hide from the sunshine. No, chosen one, you were built for this moment. Your name has been written in the books of heaven long before the enemy tried to erase it from the earth. The question is no longer, will it happen? The question is, are you ready to walk into what's already yours? Stay with me, because what I'm about to show you in the next few minutes will shatter every lie the enemy whispered during your darkest night. You're about to discover why you had to go through what you went through, and why your victory was never in question. It's already yours. Let's step into it together. Have you ever walked into a room and felt the energy change before anyone said a word? Have you ever noticed people looking at you differently, treating you with a strange new respect? They can't even explain themselves. Have you ever caught yourself in the mirror and seen something in your eyes that wasn't there 6 months ago? A confidence, a knowing, a fire that refuses to be extinguished. That's not your imagination, chosen one. That's confirmation. What you're experiencing right now is the spiritual shift that happens when heaven stops negotiating with your circumstances and starts dictating your reality. The universe isn't whispering your name anymore. It's declaring it. It's announcing it. It's broadcasting it across realms you can't even see. And the people around you, they're picking up the frequency before you've even fully stepped into the blessing. Let me tell you what's really happening in the unseen realm while you're still trying to figure out if you deserve what's coming. Right now, at this very moment, there are angelic forces rearranging circumstances in your favor. There are divine appointments being scheduled without your knowledge. There are people in positions of power whose spirits are being stirred to remember your name at exactly the right time. This isn't luck. This isn't coincidence. This is the sovereignty of a God who doesn't wait for your permission to bless you. He waits for your positioning. And beloved, you just stepped into position. Scripture tells us in John 15:3, "You are already clean because of the word I have spoken to you." Do you understand what that means? It means the purification process is complete. The testing season is over. The wilderness that tried to break you actually built you. You're not waiting to be qualified anymore. You're already approved. The breakthrough you're praying for isn't pending in some cosmic waiting room. It's been signed, sealed, and released. The only thing left is for your natural circumstances to catch up with your spiritual reality. Here's what most people don't understand about divine timing. The breakthrough is always spiritual before it becomes physical. Your energy shifts first. Your authority activates first. Your anointing becomes undeniable first. And then only then does the material world bend to reflect what's already true in the spirit. That's why people are acting strange around you lately. That's why doors are opening without you knocking. That's why your enemies have gone silent, and your critics have mysteriously lost their voice. They can feel the shift even if they can't name it. Your elevation is making them uncomfortable because it's exposing what they refused to become. Let me paint you a picture that will change how you see your current season. You've been walking through the quiet before the storm. But this is no ordinary storm, beloved. This is not the storm that destroys. This is the storm of blessing, and it's tearing through your life like lightning splitting the sky at midnight. You know that moment, right before thunder crashes, when the air gets heavy and electric, when every creature goes silent, because they sense something massive is about to break loose. That's where you are right now. The atmosphere around your life has changed. The pressure you're feeling isn't oppression. It's the weight of glory trying to manifest through a vessel that's finally strong enough to carry it. And if you need proof, look at the evidence. Your spirit has been restless. At night, hasn't it? You've been waking up at unusual hours with a stirring in your soul that you can't quite name. That's not insomnia. Chosen one, that's intercession. That's heaven downloading instructions into your spirit while the world sleeps. You've been feeling an urgency you can't explain, a holy impatience with anything that's beneath your calling. That's not anxiety, that's alignment. Your spirit knows something your mind hasn't caught up to yet. You've been shedding relationships, environments, and mindsets faster than you can process them. That's not loss, that's liberation. God is stripping away everything that can't go where you're headed. The people who once had access to you can't reach you the same way anymore. The situations that used to drain you can't touch you with the same intensity. The lies that used to manipulate you sound ridiculous now. Why? Because your frequency changed. When your spiritual elevation happens, you become incompatible with lower-level thinking, lower-level relationships, and lower-level assignments. You didn't push people away. You outgrew the version of yourself that they were comfortable controlling. And now, they're scrambling because the old tactics don't work anymore. Let me ask you something that's going to expose where you really are. When was the last time you felt genuinely threatened by someone's opinion of you? When was the last time you felt the need to defend yourself to people who are committed to misunderstanding you? When was the last time you chased after validation from sources that have no authority over your destiny? If you can't remember, that's because you've already shifted. The moment you stopped needing their approval was the moment heaven released what they could never give you anyway. This is the part where most people miss their moment. They're so focused on what they can see that they ignore what they can feel. They're so busy looking for external confirmation that they miss the internal transformation that's already complete. But not you. You're different. You're reading these words right now because your spirit recognizes truth when it hears it. You're here because something inside you already knows the victory is yours. The blessing is released. The shift has happened. And now you're just waiting for your reality to reflect what's already true in the spirit. So, let me declare this over your life with the authority of heaven, backing every word. You are no longer in the season of becoming. You are in the season of being. You are no longer rehearsing for your destiny. You are walking in it. You are no longer hoping for breakthrough. You are the breakthrough. The thing you thought was coming is already here, wrapped in the skin you're standing in, flowing through the decisions you're making, manifesting in the boldness that refuses to apologize for taking up space. If you feel this shift in your bones, if something inside you is screaming yes while you're reading this, drop 777 in the comments right now. That's not just a number. That's a declaration of divine completion, spiritual perfection, and heavenly alignment. When you type those numbers, you're agreeing with what God has already spoken over your life. You're claiming the favor that's already yours. You're announcing to the spiritual realm that you're ready to receive what's been released. But here's what you need to understand as we go deeper. This shift didn't happen by accident. It wasn't random. It wasn't luck. There was something you did, something specific, something intentional, something powerful that triggered this divine realignment. And in the next few minutes, I'm going to show you exactly what that was and why it worked when everything else failed. Because chosen one, you didn't just survive your season, you mastered it. And mastery always demands a reward. Now that you understand, the shift has already happened. I need to show you something that's going to blow your mind about how you won this battle. Because here's the shocking truth nobody prepared you for. You didn't defeat your enemies by fighting them. You defeated them by walking away. Your absence became the most powerful weapon you never knew you were wielding. Let me ask you something that's going to expose the game that was being played against you. Have you noticed how certain people started panicking the moment you went quiet? Have you watched how entire narratives began crumbling the second you stopped defending yourself? Have you seen how the lies people told about you suddenly lost their power when you refused to participate in the drama? That wasn't coincidence, chosen one. That was strategy, divine strategy. Your silence wasn't weakness. It was a declaration. It was you telling the universe, I'm no longer available for this level of consciousness. It was you announcing to the spiritual realm, my energy is too valuable to waste on people who are committed to misunderstanding me. And the moment you made that decision, everything they built around your predictability collapsed like a house of cards in a hurricane. Here's what really happened in the invisible realm when you stepped back. Every toxic person in your life had constructed an entire identity around your presence. They needed you to react so they could feel powerful. They needed you to defend yourself so they could keep attacking. They needed you to stay engaged so they could continue the cycle of manipulation. Your participation was the oxygen their lies needed to survive. And the second you removed yourself, you cut off their supply. They suffocated in the silence you left behind. Think about it. How many times did they try to bait you back in? How many times did they create drama specifically designed to pull you out of your peace? How many indirect posts, cryptic messages, and manufactured situations were aimed at getting you to break your silence? That desperation you witnessed wasn't about you. It was about them losing the only mirror that made them feel significant. Without you there to manipulate, they had to face the emptiness of their own character. And beloved, that's a confrontation most people spend their entire lives avoiding. Jesus said in John 8:32, "The truth will set you free." But let me tell you what he didn't say. He didn't say the truth would be comfortable. He didn't say the truth would be popular. He didn't say the truth would be easy to walk in. He said it would set you free. And freedom, real freedom, always costs you something. It cost you relationships that were built on lies. It cost you environments that required you to shrink. It cost you the approval of people who could only love the version of you they could control. Your absence exposed the lies because lies require participation. Lies need witnesses. Lies need people who are willing to play along with the illusion. But truth stands alone. Truth doesn't need defense. Truth doesn't need explanation. Truth doesn't need your presence to validate it. That's why, when you walked away, the structure around you began to unravel. Not because you tore it down, but because your presence was the only thing holding their delusions together. I want you to think back to the moment you decided enough was enough. Remember that night when you were tired of explaining yourself to people who had already made up their minds. Remember that morning when you woke up and realized your peace was more valuable than their opinion. Remember that conversation When you finally said, "I'm done," and actually meant it. That wasn't weakness, beloved. That was warfare. That was you activating a level of spiritual authority that most people never touch because they're too afraid of what walking away will cost them. But you weren't most people. You understood something profound. Your life is too sacred to be spent convincing people of your value. Your calling is too important to be delayed by people who refuse to see your light. Your destiny is too significant to be hijacked by individuals who are threatened by your growth. So, you did what warriors do. You withdrew from a battle that was beneath you and focused your energy on the war that actually mattered. The war for your peace. The war for your purpose. The war for your divine alignment. And now, look at the evidence. The people who claimed they couldn't live without you are somehow still breathing. The situations that felt impossible to leave are somehow still functioning without you. The relationships you thought were essential have been replaced by connections that actually honor your worth. You weren't the problem. You were the solution they refused to implement. You weren't the chaos. You were the order they couldn't control. You weren't the villain in their story. You were the truth they couldn't manipulate. Your absence revealed who they really were without you there to absorb their dysfunction. It exposed the lies they told themselves about being victims while they were actually the oppressors. It unveiled the reality that their entire narrative was built on your willingness to accept blame for things that were never your responsibility. And when you stepped away, the whole illusion crumbled. Not because you destroyed it, but because truth doesn't need your defense. It just needs your obedience. If you've been standing firm in your truth, if you've had the courage to walk away from what was killing you slowly, I want you to take a moment right now and thank God for that strength. Thank Him for the courage to disappoint people who were never satisfied anyway. Thank Him for the wisdom to recognize that your absence from toxicity is your presence in destiny. Drop 777 in the comments if you're walking in your divine freedom. Type it with authority because you're not just commenting. You're declaring that you will never again participate in narratives designed to diminish your light. But here's what's about to shift everything you thought you knew about your journey. The moment you stopped asking for what was already yours, the universe had no choice but to deliver it. And that's exactly what we're diving into next. There's a moment in every chosen one's journey that changes everything, and most people miss it completely because it doesn't look like what they expected. It's not the moment you prayed harder. It's not the moment you fasted longer. It's not even the moment you declared louder. The real turning point came in that split second when you stopped reaching outward and started recognizing inward. When you stopped begging heaven for what was already placed inside you. When you stopped asking permission from people who never had the authority to grant it in the first place. Let me show you something that's going to crack open your understanding of how God operates. The breakthrough you've been waiting for didn't arrive when you convinced Him to give it to you. It arrived the moment you stopped acting like you needed His permission to become who He already created you to be. You weren't negotiating with God. You were negotiating with your own doubt. And the second you ended that negotiation, heaven said, "Finally, now we can work." For years, maybe decades, you've been asking for favor, asking for breakthrough, asking for doors to open, asking for people to see your value, asking for circumstances to shift, asking for provision, asking for clarity, asking as if God was holding back, as if you needed to convince him of your worthiness, as if your destiny was locked behind a door that required the right combination of prayers to unlock. But here's the truth that's about to set you free. You were never begging for something withheld. You were simply blind to something already given. Psalm 24:1 declares with absolute authority, "The earth is the Lord's, and everything in it." Not some of it, not the parts you can afford, not the blessings reserved for people more qualified than you. Everything. And if everything belongs to God, and you belong to God, then by divine inheritance, you already have access to everything you've been begging to receive. The issue was never availability. The issue was your awareness. You were standing in the throne room asking for crumbs when you were already crowned. There's a fundamental difference between someone who asks for authority and someone who recognizes they already have it. One is a beggar. The other is an heir. One is hoping for permission. The other is stepping into position. And the moment you shifted from asking to acknowledging, from pleading to possessing, from requesting to recognizing, that was the exact moment your spiritual reality changed frequencies. You stopped operating like a servant waiting for leftovers and started functioning like royalty claiming your inheritance. And heaven didn't give you something new. Heaven simply confirmed what was always true. Think about it. When did things actually start shifting in your life? Was it when you were on your knees crying and begging God to show up? Or was it when you stood up, wiped your face, and said, "You know what? I'm done waiting for validation. I'm done shrinking. I'm done apologizing for taking up space. If God put it in me, then it's mine to claim." That shift in your posture changed everything. Not because God finally heard you, He always heard you, but because you finally heard Him. And what He's been saying all along is, stop asking for what I already gave you and start using it. Here's what kept you stuck longer than it should have. You were addicted to external validation. You needed people to confirm what God already declared. You needed doors to open before you believed you were qualified to walk through them. You needed circumstances to shift before you trusted that heaven was moving on your behalf. But approval from man is a drug that never satisfies, and the more you sought it, the more elusive it became. Because people can't validate what they don't understand. They can't bless what threatens their control. They can't celebrate what exposes their limitations. So you kept asking your family to see your vision, asking your friends to support your calling, asking your employer to recognize your value, asking your critics to stop criticizing, asking the world to finally please just acknowledge that you matter. And every time you asked, you gave away a piece of your power. Every time you sought their permission, you reinforced the lie that their opinion held more weight than God's declaration. Until one day, something inside you snapped. Not in anger, but in awakening. You realized that the people you were asking couldn't give you what they didn't possess themselves. And more importantly, you didn't need what they had to offer because you already carried the approval of the Most High. When you stopped asking, something shifted in the atmosphere around you. People who once dismissed you suddenly felt uncomfortable in your presence. Opportunities that required you to beg suddenly started pursuing you. Doors that were bolted shut suddenly swung open without you knocking. Why? Because you stopped moving like someone who needed permission and started moving like someone who already had authority. And authority doesn't ask, it declares. Authority doesn't beg, it commands. Authority doesn't negotiate, it occupies. You were always meant to reign, chosen one, not in some distant future after you've proven yourself worthy. Right now, today, in this moment. Psalm 24 doesn't say you might inherit the earth someday if you pray hard enough. It says it already belongs to the Lord and you are His. That means what's His is yours. That means you're not waiting for access. You're activating what's already been granted. That means your breakthrough isn't coming. It already came the moment you stopped operating from a posture of lack and stepped into a posture of ownership. So, let me ask you directly, what are you still asking for? What are you still begging people to give you? What are you still waiting for permission to become? Because I'm here to tell you that the waiting is over. The asking is done. The begging is finished. You don't need another confirmation, another sign, another prophetic word telling you what God already whispered to you in the secret place. You just need to stop asking and start acting like the heir you are. Stop asking for favor, you already have it. Stop asking for doors to open, you carry the key. Stop asking for provision, you're connected to the source. Stop asking for validation. God already said yes. The moment you recognize this, the moment you truly internalize, this is the moment everything you've been asking for collapses into your reality without resistance. If you're ready to stop asking and start claiming, if you're ready to step out of the posture of begging and into the position of reigning, drop 777 in the comments right now. That's your declaration. That's your agreement with heaven. That's you saying, I'm done asking for what's already mine. I'm stepping into my authority today. Have you ever felt like you were running a race that never seemed to end? You've worked tirelessly day after day, striving to reach the finish line, only to feel like the finish line kept moving further away. Maybe you've been chasing after approval, after validation, waiting for someone to tell you that you're ready, that you've done enough, that you're deserving. But what if I told you that the breakthrough you've been searching for isn't out there in the distance somewhere? What if it's been within you all along, waiting for you to step into it? You didn't need to beg for what's always been yours. You didn't need to chase approval from anyone. The breakthrough didn't come from trying harder or asking more. It came the moment you stopped asking and started recognizing your own divine authority. Think about it. When you stopped asking for permission, when you stopped waiting for someone to give you the green light, you unlocked something powerful. You started walking in your divine identity, in the authority that God has already given you. That breakthrough you've been waiting for. It happened the moment you claimed it. Psalm 24:1 says, "The earth is the Lord's and everything in it." Chosen one, that includes you. You are His, and He has given you dominion over this earth. When you walk in your purpose, when you claim your God-given authority, there is nothing that can stop you. You were never meant to beg for your place. You were born to reign, to stand in authority, and to claim what God has already laid out for you. You see, this isn't just about achieving something external. It's about recognizing the power that's already inside of you. The breakthrough isn't something you need to chase. It's something you need to claim because it's already yours. And when you do nothing, will be able to stand in your way. When you stop seeking approval, you step into your God-given identity. The moment you stop looking for someone to tell you you're ready, you realize that you've been ready all along. You don't need anyone's permission to walk in your divine purpose. You don't need anyone's approval to claim your blessings. They're already yours. This is the moment where you stop asking questions like, "Am I worthy? Do I belong here? Am I doing enough?" Instead, you start walking boldly, knowing that you were always meant for this. Your identity is not something that needs to be validated by anyone. It's been affirmed by the Creator. The earth is the Lord's and everything in it, and that includes the authority He's given you over your life. When you stop seeking permission from the world, you step into your true calling, your true identity. You were born for this moment, chosen one. Everything you've endured, everything you've struggled through has been preparing you for this. Now, it's time to walk in the authority that's always been yours. You've waited long enough. You've worked hard enough. The world might tell you that your breakthrough is something you need to wait for, something that will come in the future if you work harder. But let me tell you something. Your breakthrough is already here. It's waiting for you to recognize it, to step into it, to claim it with the authority God has already given you. When you stop asking, you stop pleading with the world to see your worth. You stop waiting for someone to tell you that you've earned it. You stop putting your life on hold, waiting for the perfect moment. That moment is now. The authority you need to walk into your breakthrough is already inside of you. It's been there all along, waiting for you to claim it. This shift, this breakthrough, isn't something you need to force or hustle for. It's something you need to recognize and step into. You've been trying to prove your worth, but you're already worthy. You've been trying to show that you can handle it, but you've already been prepared. The moment you recognize that your victory has already been secured, that it's not something you need to chase or beg for, that's when the door is open. Stop chasing after something that's already been given to you. The life you've prayed for the purpose you've longed for, it's already in motion. You were never meant to be small. You were always meant to reign. So stop asking for what's already been given. The doors are open. The opportunities are waiting. The blessings are already yours. If you're ready to step into your authority to claim everything that's been waiting for you, drop 777 in the comments. Say it with confidence. Say it with power. because your breakthrough is here, and you don't need anyone's permission to step into it. Walk into your destiny, chosen one. You've been prepared for this moment. Don't hesitate. Claim it now. Have you ever felt like you were up against the world? Like no matter what you did, the storm kept coming at you, trying to knock you down, trying to break you. Maybe you felt like the battles just kept piling up one after another, with no end in sight. But let me ask you, chosen one, what if I told you that the real victory wasn't in just surviving the battles? What if the victory was in becoming something greater than the storm itself? You didn't just survive the battles, chosen one. You became the storm. The battles didn't define you. You defined the battles. The victory wasn't in overcoming them. It was in becoming the one who rises above them. You are no longer just a survivor. You are a force to be reckoned with. Every challenge you faced, every obstacle in your path, every painful moment, none of it was meant to defeat you. It was meant to shape you. It was meant to strengthen you, to build you into someone the world can no longer hold down. You didn't shrink back. You didn't collapse. You didn't give up. You stood tall, and with every wave of adversity, you became stronger, more resilient, more powerful. And now, you are unstoppable. Like David facing Goliath, the world expected you to be defeated. They underestimated you. They saw your size, your background, your past mistakes, and they thought, this is it. This is where they'll fall. But what they didn't realize is that you weren't just walking into battle with a slingshot and stones. You were walking in divine purpose. Just like David, you had a secret weapon that they couldn't see the hand of God upon you. When David stepped onto that battlefield, the enemy saw a young boy with no armor, no strength, no military experience. But what they didn't know is that David wasn't just a boy. He was a man of purpose. He was chosen for that moment. And when he faced Goliath, he didn't just fight to survive. He fought because he knew the victory was already his. You, chosen one, are walking into your Goliath moments right now. And like David, you're not fighting to survive. You're fighting to win. As it's written in Isaiah 54:17, no weapon formed against you shall prosper. Let that sink in for a moment. No weapon formed against you shall prosper. That means no matter what comes your way, no matter what enemy tries to rise up against you, it will not stand. It can't. Why? Because the hand of God is on you. His protection surrounds you. His favor is covering you, and He's already made the way for you to walk in victory. You're not just going through life anymore. You are rising above it. The challenges you face now aren't obstacles to your success. They're opportunities for you to show the world that nothing can stop you. And that's because you've recognized something powerful about yourself. You've recognized the divine authority that's been inside you all along. It's not just about surviving. It's about thriving. It's about living in such a way that the world can't ignore the power that's inside you. You've stopped waiting for validation. You don't need permission anymore. You don't need the world to tell you that you're worthy. You know you are. And with that knowledge, you've become a force that no one can control, no one can intimidate, no one can push down. Chosen one, if you're ready to step into that authority, if you're ready for the world to see the unstoppable you, I want you to claim it now. Drop 777 in the comments. Declare it. You are not just a survivor. You are an overcomer. You are unstoppable. And the victory is already yours. No weapon, no storm, no enemy will ever be able to take away the authority that God has placed within you. You didn't just survive the storm. You became the light in it. You were never meant to be a passive observer in this world. You were created to be a force to rise above the trials and to shine brightly even in the darkest of times. The storms that came against you were never stronger than the strength that lies within you. And now, you are not waiting for anyone's approval. You are stepping boldly into your purpose, knowing that nothing can stop you now. You've been through the fire, chosen one, and it hasn't burned you. It's refined you. It hasn't weakened you. It's made you stronger, wiser, and more ready than ever to walk in the fullness of your divine calling. You don't need permission anymore. You don't need validation. You are already aligned with your divine purpose, and now the universe is aligning with you. The doors are opening, and the path ahead is clear. Step into your victory with boldness and confidence, chosen one. This is your time. The universe has already started moving in your favor, and all that's left is for you to walk forward in faith and claim everything that's already yours. Don't hold back any longer. Your breakthrough is here. If this message resonated with you, if you feel the power of this truth stirring within your spirit, I want you to take action now. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who needs to hear it. We're not just spreading words, we're spreading light. You never know who might need this divine reminder that they are chosen too. And for those of you who are ready to step fully into your divine blessing, drop 77 in the comments below. Let that number be your declaration of faith, your affirmation that you are walking in the favor, the power, and the authority that has always been yours. This is your time. The universe is waiting for you to step into your destiny. Go ahead. Claim it. Chosen one, your journey is just beginning. The victory is already yours. And now, the world will see the light you carry. Walk in it, embrace it, and shine like the star you were always meant to be.